Welcome to the Cult of Comics podcast, the only show where the price of admission is the same as the price of submission. My name is Tyler Brown, and today I'm joined by my usual cult leaders, cultists, cult counselors, what have you, Sean Walsh and Josh Craven. How we doing, boys?
I'm here.
Congratulations. Welcome. Where are you going? He's out. He just left. Where's he going? What are you doing?
I don't know. I was just going to turn that fan off.
I didn't even hear anything.
I know, but you can see it like up.
Your presence is
I can see it slowing down now.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a horror movie I'd seen once. I've seen this one. Oh, right. You were in Hellraiser.
Is it my Chinobite?
Yes.
Cenobite?
Cenobite.
That's it.
Yes. I saw a friend online make an interesting comment that has stuck with me, which is that if you do BDSM, all you're doing is just live action role playing Hellraiser.
I mean,
They're not wrong.
The S&M part.
Yeah. S and M. Anyways, this is the Cult of Comics podcast. If you've never been on the show before, we are a comic book related media podcast. This is Monday, August 30th, 2021, and we are going to talk about the comic books that we read this week, starting with Department of Truth number 12, James Tynion the fourth, Martin Simmonds, except unfortunately my friend Nighthawk over here has decided to become even more useless than usual and not read this one.
Didn't we have like a guest artist on this one?
On this one, no.
Maybe it's
this
the next issue.
Maybe, but this is the traditional team as far as we're aware. This is the events following out after the Bigfoot storyline, and we continue seeing the relationship between Cole and Hawk, and a little bit of backstory about what's going on with Cole. It's been interesting to see, but this one is the one that actually leads up to the next main story plot of what is going on in the Department of Truth, and a revelation that Hawk is even farther into Cole's past than we thought, with the opening sequences. Oh, you know what? There was a guest artist on the first couple of pages.
Yeah.
Or unless it was just Simmonds drawing in a specific style.
We can figure this out.
Together. We can do it together. This is an interesting issue because it does seem to be building towards the revelation.
Yeah, Sean, the story moved ahead. Come on, Sean.
Okay.
Come on, Sean. Oh my God, Sean.
It moved ahead. Okay, that's all you have to say.
It did move ahead.
It did move ahead.
Had you messaged me days ago and told me then, I would have read it. However, you're telling me on air, and I can't really read it now.
I just
Sean.
mostly wanted to make you
done
feel like a really shitty person. That was the goal here.
Yeah. Make you regret everything.
Yeah.
I guess it was just this. Maybe it's the next issue that has the guest artist. I know there was one coming up. I don't know. Next issue is the end of the story arc.
I feel like there was
so maybe it's issue 14.
I feel like a lot of this issue was a lot of exposition.
Issue 14, the artist is going to be John Pearson. So 2 more issues. The one with the Scientology that's going to whatever.
Ooh.
That's it.
I feel like a lot of this issue had a lot of exposition, but I don't really
every
have
other issue.
Well, yeah, but I think that the focus on the black helicopters was an interesting moment there. There was a lot of points that felt like traditional parts of the series where, there's a very artistic double page spread and a lot of.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It is a lot of people talking to each other, but so is quite a few other issues.
No. You misunderstand what I mean. What I'm saying is not about like it being chatty. I'm saying exposition in the style of a heavy detail on narration in order to kind of make you feel engaged, almost like the characters are talking to you rather than to each other. It's
kind of felt like that was the norm for a lot of the issues.
It is, but this is the first one that has made me feel like Hawk in specific has maybe like a right-leaning association, I guess, to some extent. It's interesting to see because I wouldn't have characterized him as right-leaning before that, but it almost seems like he acknowledges that, like, Reagan, for example, is kind of a massive tool, but he liked that he was a massive tool. And then he admits to Cole that he is Black Hat in the middle of the chopper, and that leads towards the
yeah. he doesn't really come full. It doesn't feel like he comes full circle about what the deal is with the helicopters. I feel like there's still like little dangling ends that aren't fully expressed.
It's strange to me that he's making the comparison about the locusts with the biblical reference, the many-faced locusts, or whatever it was.
But what makes these better than regular helicopters? It's not like it transports you or teleports you somewhere.
Well, no, but he did mention that these helicopters in specific were ones that are a manifestation of belief rather than actual traditional creation. It's the...
Yeah, but I don't know why you would want those either. Like, why not just have something built for you?
There's a lot of this book that is very strange and very experimental.
He talks about capturing the belief and wielding it as a weapon.
I don't really understand some of the choices sometimes, but I'm still really enjoying it. It feels like this is the first time in a minute too that we have had two of the main characters finally come back into the foray after being away for some time now. I actually forgot her name. She was the one assigned to hang out with and partner with Cole.
Ruby,
yeah. And
like Jack Ruby.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting that, but Ruby's having conversation with Cole at the beginning of the issue, which is the first time in what feels like a long time. And then there was also the conversation between her and JFK's assassin, the head of the Department of Truth, who I am also forgetting. Lee Harvey Oswald. Thank you.
Yeah. I like how we take a minute, 2 or 3 pages to really summarize what the kind of modus operandi is for Black Hat and I guess to the Department of Truth, how everything works, where they come up with some conspiracy, post little nuggets around, and then try and cast wider and wider nets as you cast wider nets, you kind of become more generic in your conspiracy as you move higher and higher and higher up. And then they try and loop it back around and then almost like an Ouroboros and then cut the head off so that people can't find where the actual source of the original conspiracy is.
Yeah, and this is very timely right now since we're in an age of conspiracy nuts, taking over and pretty much being in the news every single day, especially with social media spreading the way that it has. It's not directly dealing with QAnon right now, but it definitely implies that a lot of these old conspiracy theories are
posting on
to
like
modern day
boards
like QAnon
and
stuff.
forum like 4chan.
There's that, but there's also the conversation about like reptilian people, which actually there are some people who believe the satanic panic back in the 80s about drinking the blood of babies is something that was old and is now coming back again and making the full circle. It's interesting to see that. It's also interesting to see that Hawk seems to be a part of this long game plan regarding Cole, almost being like an implant to the Department of Truth of some kind. Like they've been trying to do this for years and years and years. And
you're talking about Black Hat or the
Black Hat and Hawk.
Yeah. So, Hawk explains how the helicopters are tulpas and trying to wield the power of being able to shape people's minds. But then he covers the situations where things went awry and how he became disillusioned. I think Oklahoma City was 93. So that would have been after the meeting with Cole. So
it would have
maybe he became... Oh, right. He wasn't disillusioned when he met Cole, but he became disillusioned after that.
My criticism so far is not far off from what Sean has been talking about, which is that it seems like there's a lot of points of high exposition rather than traditional means of plot development. And I can't help but wonder if that is due to the art styles going on in this, which is gorgeous as it is. I can definitely see it being really challenging at some points to
convey that.
not just convey that, but also just stay on task with the actual plot itself. There was a lot of points where, like with the Bigfoot storyline, I can at least see what the point of it was. It's not just about this old man and his relationship with his family and how conspiracies affect people. It's also a question of, how do we determine what's the morally right thing to do, and when do we get to play God? And that's the question that Cole has the issue with. Here, I'm wondering if, basically what happens is Cole has a conversation with Ruby. Ruby has a conversation with Oswald. Cole gets into a helicopter with Hawk, and that's it. Yeah. And that's pretty much what happens, like factually, as far as like an actual event. Now, that doesn't mean that it's bad storytelling. It's definitely not, but it's very slow.
Yeah. It's still, a lot of it is almost like an essay into developing a conspiracy theory and spreading it.
And I wonder if this is because you have to have a lot of detail and building in order for a lot of this to make sense. But I can't help but like think to myself at the same time, I feel like you can still just tell the story and I'll be able to get that,
Yeah. Maybe it might have been better as just like a novel, something just all prose with maybe a few pictures.
The thing is like, you can do prose with a comic book and it's fine and it'll be great. There's many a point in this where I fall in love with what Simmonds does for a double page spread. I just think that because this is a monthly book, that's the conflict you have. This is going to be something that's probably going to read better in a trade than it is for the singles right now, at least. I still think to the interaction between the Star-Faced Man, Black Cat, and Cole every time they hint towards the Star-Faced Man. And I like that because it does remind me a lot of the X-Files when they come into contact with the alien bounty hunter, in that part of the series, or when they just come into contact with any abductors or abductees, because that is the overarching plot here. I think that, again, going back to what Sean had said, it does seem really slow right now. And it does seem like this is just something that maybe waiting it out for a little bit and then just reading it all at once is going to be a little bit better.
Maybe. I think it does have a lot of repeat reading value.
I'm not saying that it doesn't. I guess I'm just saying if you're trying to get to the point, reading it monthly,
it is very slow at getting to the point.
Yeah.
Sean, you look like you're about to say.
So, long story short, you're basically saying I'm right. Cool.
See, knowing that you have the absolute, like, just the most terrible opinions and taste on things, I'm going to say no. And instead, I'm going to say I'm right.
Sean might be right, but it's still an enjoyable comic to read issue to issue.
Yes, it is.
And I didn't say it wasn't. It was the lack of the overarching story that was losing me. It was too episodic.
And there's a lot of things taking shape in this issue. The actions are few, but the explanation, the rationalization sort of behind different actions is explained.
I think that there's been,
if this does start to bring it back together, then that is something.
Well, the next issue is the end of the story arc.
There are examples of prose and taking the long road to get to a point, and it's been done well before. And that's not to say that this is bad necessarily, but it definitely is leaving me hungry, I guess, for some actual happenings. And I kind of just want the emotion that I had felt when Cole killed those two reporters. Like, that was impactful. I felt like there's been many points in this series where I've been very like, wow. And I guess I'm just hoping that he's going to be able to, James Tynion, I hope that he's going to be able to keep me as enthralled as I have been before, because right now I don't hate it. I definitely still enjoy it. It's still one of my favorite series right now, but it's definitely taking me out of it a little bit. Speaking of taking me out of it, Made in Korea #4. What the fuck was this book?
One more thing I wanted to say about this. Go for it. If you turn to the central page, so where the staple is, if you can turn in there. I don't know if you were able to see. I don't know if you got it digitally or
I have a
paper copy. Okay, so turn right to the center of the book.
Okay,
and we've got this parallel between the Department of Truth, and then it's not mirrored, but there's the parallel on the next page with Black Hat, where you've got Lee Harvey Oswald talking to Ruby, and you've got what's his face, the leader of Black Hat, talking to Hawk, and they're almost situated the same in each, at least at the bottom of the page. You've got the leader sitting on the left, you got the subordinate on the right, you got both pages kind of mirror each other or parallel.
Yeah.
So
make some speculation. What about that is what are you thinking?
I think we're just seeing both kind of, I don't know, maybe gearing up for war. They're, you got the leader talking to maybe their number one subordinate, their second in command, to get out of here and get to work.
Okay. And then you're thinking like Cole is the one who's caught in between both of those worlds right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, we can get on to Made in Korea.
Here's my real quick question. The cover is, I don't really understand
Kennedy?
what the cover's about here. We got
Uncle
Kennedy,
Sam
and then we also
and
got
Kennedy.
Uncle Sam as a skull. I don't really know what's going on here.
Yeah, they make references to the JFK assassination in here, I think.
Well, I think it's because it's the most popular conspiracy theory of all time at this point.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I guess I just
9/11
understand what
thing.
it has to do with this issue.
I thought there was a mention of him, but
Probably not, but
no, I guess not. I mean, we had like the Clintons at one point,
maybe.
and or at least Bill Clinton. I don't remember him being like relevant to the issue, so I'm not sure the covers are very relevant.
Yeah. Made in Korea #4 by Jeremy Holtz and George Schall. I fucking hated this issue.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
It was very sort of lukewarm, in my opinion.
I don't understand what this book is about anymore.
No.
Oh, I thought it was all right because they were finally moving the story along.
What story? Like that?
I mean, we're not going to tease out certain, this high school massacre.
But they built it up for 3 issues, and I just don't understand what the point is at this point.
I just wanted to get past that. This whole programming sequence of doing the diagnostics and then rebooting, taking in the whatever the damage is, and then rebooting. I thought that was great. Kind of Hickman-esque.
I mean, yeah, I liked that page, but I just don't understand what the point of this entire book is anymore, because
well, not only is the robot learning, but I don't think that the other models are probably limited in their ability to physically cause damage. Here, you can see that there's
no limitations.
She's unlimited. There's no limitations. She's unhindered.
One might say that she is limitless, starring Bradley Cooper.
That was a pretty good movie.
No. Again, you're wrong. You have shitty opinions. And
Tyler's the shitty one here.
Fucking terrible film.
Thank you, Josh.
I just don't understand at this point, like what, because if the entire premise of the story is around in a future where children are not being made as regularly, you have to get these artificial intelligence children made, and it's like the surrogate replacement for the children that are no longer there. Then you've got these kids who are trying to commit a mass shooting at a school by having this replacement figure come and help them break into a fort to get a bunch of weapons because guns are outlawed. And the actual creator of this artificial intelligence is trying to manage his creation. What is the point? What is the point of all of this? Why do any of these things and then have nothing to tell me? If you're going to do half of the things that are going on in this storyline, you
it's almost like there's like an A plot and B plot here.
I wouldn't even say that. It doesn't even feel like there's any real plot to me. It feels like there's an idea that was put onto paper and that was pretty much it. I would say that this is boorish. This to me feels like what my same criticisms that I had for the Joker. It's like, it's regardless of what artistic moments are present in it and that you can admire, it's not telling me anything. If you're going to do something like this, what's the point? And you don't even necessarily need to have like an allegory or an overarching message, but you should at least not be afraid to tell me something with a purpose. As far as I'm concerned, this is a story with no purpose. And that's frustrating for me, because I
kind of
really
agree, because it just seemed to like come out of nowhere and go nowhere.
Exactly. It doesn't seem like there's any point in this.
I think it was the end. It was the last page of issue 2 where we saw this. They had plans for a school shooting. Then last issue, they're radicalizing her. Then this issue, it's kind of like, oh, they did it and they fucked up and she killed them.
Well, she ripped off the arms of one, and like they pulled him away.
The other broke the neck.
Yeah, and it just is like,
but it's just not what issue 1 felt like at all.
At all.
Yeah, it did go in a very different direction. I mean, we talked about that as much in when issue 2 came out.
Look, like, let's even like speculate on that for a second. Let's say you want to tell a story here and you have an idea here. What is the connecting message here? You have a connection of products made, basically children being made in Korea.
Well, you got to take a step back from that. The step back that there's some environmental factor that is causing birth rates to plummet until there's basically only a very small number of kids. And one of the responses out of that is to create surrogates. And these surrogates don't age. So you have these children forever. You basically have a child that's a child forever. Not exactly human-like, but close enough. And then you've got, so we're looking at how the parents react. We're looking at how do the other kids react, the ones who are now the very few kids that are left. And I mean, you've got these two guys that are basically like, you're one of the last kids alive and you're not special. Like you kind of just suck. So they're exploring that.
I guess, but at the same time, it's the same thing I'm saying is like,
I think it's you guys are saying it's trying to do too much. And I agree with that. Sure. It seemed like when issue 1 came out, even then in issue 1, we said, oh, it looks like it's trying to mix different kind of dystopian themes together.
And that's not a problem.
Where before in
do it right.
Yeah. In issue 1, we had the, low birth rates gives way to surrogates, but there's also the banning of guns and maybe some other dystopian themes.
Like, if you're going to tell me the story about this and then bring in the mention of the banning of guns, I mean, there was foreshadowing in the beginning of the issue 1. There's a purpose to it. So if the conflict here is the manipulation, the tool, the tactic used to make this child something that would be weaponized by radicals, I mean, I guess it's a question of like, is this a story about innocence? Is this a story about
maybe like trying to become the alpha predator, or like this is just going to be like another superhero origin story?
Have you ever seen AI?
They're going to make her bigger and better, give her a better body. Like this was just a temporary body, and put her in like, you could put her in some mech suit and she would just be a superhero going around saving the day.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sean's over here with the Hitler mustache.
I'm playing with a paintbrush. It wasn't intentional.
No, he's Charlie Chaplin.
Yes. He's giving himself a makeup tutorial while we're talking about Made in Korea.
Have you ever seen AI?
I haven't, but I know the general premise of it, and this did remind me of it somewhat.
That's another story of like, what's the purpose here? I mean, there is no point.
Yeah. I would even say maybe like Bicentennial Man, where you're just following the journey of a robot.
At least with Bicentennial Man, the end of the entire journey is to become recognized as a human. Like that was the goal.
From like a basic surrogate nanny cleaning maid bot to slowly becoming more and more human.
Yeah. and then recognized.
I think they're, this surrogate has evolved over the past 4 issues. So I think we're going to see what other directions they make her evolve in.
I just don't see
over the next 2 issues. I think there's 2 more issues.
Like, I kind of want to read the next one just to see what happens, but I just don't. I'm not enthralled by this. I'm not excited by it. I just don't. I'm really disappointed because I feel like there was the potential to do something different, and then look at what happened. I swear to God, Sean.
Yeah. What is that? Clerks?
No, it's that new Adolf book that he found. I swear to God.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sean's like a secret neo-Nazi.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I was not off base when I called you a Hitler youth.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Hitler youth, I rewatched Jojo Rabbit again like last week. It's such a good film.
I actually haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Yeah.
You're terrible. Tom.
I don't know. It
you,
didn't hit me as well.
The Hitler stuff
I want to
was
see
like
it.
the worst
I just
part of
haven't
the
seen
movie.
it yet.
Oh, my favorite was where they were able to digitally de-age Nick Frost to the body of a child.
That is amazing. That is so true.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Anyway, I'm going to keep reading it. I know it's not like the best thing ever, but.
Well, that is like you in a nutshell, is you are just a settler and you're like, well, I'm reading it right now. Might as well.
Going back to neo-Nazis, there was a couple in my town arrested a few years ago for like having like all this like Hitler memorabilia, naming their son Adolf and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And you made it out unscathed.
Yeah, it was big news. I'll see if I can find it.
Listen, I'm proud of you for being able to change your name like that. Moving on, we're going to talk about Mother of Madness #2 by Emilia, Clarke, Margueritte, Bennett, and Leila Leiz. Again, don't know what the point of this is. Did you? Me? Yeah, I did.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you stopped.
No,
Sean and I both kind of stopped in the middle.
I got 10 pages in and I was like, I'm reading this, but nothing's really sinking in. I'm reading the words, but like the story's not
read
clicking.
certain sections.
So I just stopped.
It's a lot of narration. It's
very overwritten.
It's dramatically overwritten. It's
so overwritten that I can't take the story in because too many words.
I got lost on the first page where it's don't drink that Kool-Aid. It's not even name brand, but Kool-Aid is a name brand.
I don't think it helps that I've completely forgotten the first issue. I don't remember anything that happened in it.
Really? I mean, yeah, I don't really remember a whole lot either, but I feel like I don't really understand. It's frustrating because, again, I feel like this is the potential for something really awesome, and I do want Emilia, Clarke, and Margueritte Bennett to work more in the future. I'm reading this and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I agree with all of this, but I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a lot of things going on all at once, and it's like
it does
kind of superhero stuff in the background. Like they mention in passing about her abilities, and then they'll do one panel about one power, another panel with a different power.
Oh yeah, she had all powers depending on mood, didn't she?
Yeah, and she still has that. Okay. And then there's a backstory about how long she's had it. She was like,
and it gets a little meta where she's like, yes, this is the
whole thing.
It gets a little meta where it's like, this is the backstory. We'll get through this. This isn't like one of the best parts or times for me, but
no, but it just feels like there's a lot of trying to tell a story while not knowing how to do a beginning and how a middle and then an end. It just feels like a lot of bouncing around. It feels very much like a first-time writer, and that's not what Margueritte Bennett is. And that's
but it is what Emilia Clarke is.
I don't know
exactly.
Sean, we're gonna get to Dark Blood, but I felt like Dark Blood was doing a lot of the same, where it jumps around a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot in this story to me that I think that a lot of people can agree with, and I think that a lot of people can sympathize with and relate to. And the parts that are funny, but I just find the majority of this very tired. It almost reminds me of like SLC Punk a little bit. It just bounces around a lot in plot, and sometimes that's fine. It just, when you overwrite it this way with a 40-page book, it takes you out of it, a lot of it. And that's, it's very frustrating. I want to like it. I want to like it a lot more than I do.
Yeah. And then we've got this, she works for one mega corporation. There's another mega corporation that's trying to steal her. Like Martha Stewart is trying to steal her power.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've powered up her ex, her baby daddy.
Well, they didn't power him up, right? I thought that it was just like he had a tattoo or something.
The tattoo is glowing, so I thought that would be like a powered individual.
You know what I just realized?
They've done work on him.
There's like no intersectionality in this book.
What?
There's no intersectionality in this book. It's very interesting to have this very like high focus on feminism in this book, but it seems to be a lot of white women focused feminism. You know what I mean? Like it's about body shaming and being told that your hormones are crazy and body hair. And
looks don't matter, especially if you're already attractive.
Yeah. And that's not to say that like obviously these authors are maybe intentionally being that way, but I definitely feel like they had a missed opportunity here to talk about some other things, and maybe they will in the future. But I mean, right now it's just very what was the name of that book that I read? I can't think of what it is. It's an interesting focus on white women feminism issues, which is ignoring a lot of trans women. It ignores women of color. It ignores a lot of these other issues that are really big focus of feminism, and instead focuses on women are powerful, women get told that they're crazy, women can be mothers, and it's like, sure, but that's like 25% of like this bigger thing that you could be talking about. And it's just kind of weird, I guess, because if you want to be something that says a lot, then you have a lot that you're not saying right now.
Yeah, and there's one more issue left.
Yeah, like how are they going to wrap it up?
Yeah. It still feels like it's only starting.
What is the purpose of this Martha Stewart character at this point?
So she was at the end of the first issue, wasn't she? This is the lady that was kind of watching things happen.
Maybe.
But she's trying to steal her powers to replicate them even.
Yeah. And I mean, so she mentions
she's basically like Vought from
The Boys.
Yeah.
I feel like the adoption process here was them trying to say something too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was a shot in here, maybe towards the middle. Okay, it doesn't quite look like that. Whatever Vigilante News, the V almost looked like Vought.
I don't know. I think we can all kind of agree. Yeah, it's just.
I don't know if I'm going to get the next issue or not. I mean, it's one more issue, but
I'm going to collect it just so I got the whole set.
Yeah. I mean, it's 3 oversized issues. I don't know. It's frustrating. I feel like I'm going to pull a Josh and probably get it too.
Or Sean.
Yeah.
Or Tyler.
It's just like there's one left. Like, don't leave it incomplete.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's just okay.
I don't really do that typically. The last time I actually ended up like not picking up the last issue was Crime Syndicate, because I just couldn't give a shit about it anymore.
Yeah. Why did you even bother picking that up to begin with?
Well, the first one I thought was going to be good because I was like Jim Chung, and then once again they cock teased me with the cover of Jim Chung, and I'm like, oh right, they just hire him for covers, not for interiors.
Yeah. Did you not look at just the little names on the front and go, why isn't his name here?
Nope.
No.
No, I saw Otto Schmidt and I'm like, well, maybe this will be good. Nope, it wasn't. It was not good at all.
It's not Otto Schmidt artwork. It's Andy Schmidt, the writer.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
that's close enough.
Oblivion Song number 33 by Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo de Felici. Interesting time to be reading this because we just found out that Jake Gyllenhaal would be playing one of the characters starring in the Oblivion Song movie and producing it. This is the penultimate. No, actually, there's 2 more issues left.
3. It's going to go to 36.
Okay. There's a lot of things happening in a Kirkman book typically.
I'm surprised they found. I mean, they explained their way into how there's going to be 3 more issues, because it almost felt done at the pace they were going.
Yeah.
But they found a way to extend it to that 36.
Well, this conflict with the elders of the Cathal and the now newfound leadership of the Gozin being led by Nathan is interesting. It's creating a lot of new conflicts that I can see being easily wrapped up in just a few issues. But what I was surprised to see was how well Kirkman was able to organically make this into a book that was about 2 societal conflicts into a multifaceted conflict between members of each society rather than just a simple humans versus alien book.
Yeah. Sometimes things get wrapped up maybe a little bit too simply. Like you've got the bombastic general, what's his face, who is basically always yelling like, I don't give a shit or whatever.
I don't give a good god.
The guy's a potato, and then he's like, wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm pretty wound up right now. Yeah, you're right.
Sometimes Kirkman writes people in a way that makes it feel like that's how he wishes people were rather than how they actually are. In
a world where people like immediately see that they're being like an idiot.
Yeah.
They immediately see the errors of their way.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes Kirkman really takes me out of his own books. I'm going to be happy for this to wrap up because I think that I will be happy only collecting 1 Kirkman book a month from now on.
Well, he's in the letter column. He teases that there will be announcements in the next issue or October. So issue 35, he'll announce his new projects.
I'm actually looking forward to that because I feel like with October rolling around and, fall coming, it's going to be a good time for books like this rather than in the summertime.
Yeah. And that's from Sean Makowitz.
Yeah.
Sean Makowitz says, amazing, bolded, capitalizing, amazing new comics coming as soon as we can of the Kirkman and non-Kirkman varieties. October is a classically great month to announce new projects.
Hell yeah. I'm into it. Yeah. As far as this issue goes, I definitely have enjoyed it dramatically more than the last, like, say, 5 issues of Oblivion Song.
Yeah. Things are moving pretty quick. There's
it's
a lot
not just
of
about
action
that.
going on.
Yeah, it's that I really don't like cliche bullshit being thrown my way. Like, I really hate predictable stories. That's why I really did not like that last Mark Miller book that he did with Capullo.
Reborn.
Yeah, Reborn. I really did not like that in the slightest. It was the most cliche story I've ever read.
Yes.
Like ever.
Yeah, I could have missed that. I think that was the last Mark Miller comic that I got. Like, I haven't picked up anything since.
I mean, people hype it.
Well, I picked up sequels. I picked up American Jesus sequel, but nothing new.
Yeah, I just don't see the point. There was a lot of that kind of cliche feeling of storytelling going on with this, but now that this has created new conflicts, new resolutions, and realistically people trying to bring peace rather than trying to win war, which I think is more believable. It's
going to be hard to make a film out of the 36 issues, but
yes,
if you cut out a lot of the middle stuff, sure, I guess you could make a movie out of that. Like, cut out Nathan going to jail, cut out the years and years of stuff. So unless you
I'm
make
sure
it in,
the movie will be heavily butchered.
Yeah, if you make it in, like, make the movie 3 chapters, I think you could do 3 different sections of time.
I think it would be more realistic to create half of the story and then do a sequel, or maybe even just highlight just this film on the focus of bringing Oblivion to Philadelphia and the conflict that Nathan has with his brother, leading up to the potential sequel of the introduction of these new no-faced characters, the Cathal.
Yeah, the entire movie could just be the first couple of issues where the transference happens, and then trying to deal with and survive that until you're able to get to the point where you see the aliens. Maybe.
Yeah.
maybe even bring Philadelphia back and then say, hey, there's a bigger problem after that.
Yeah, and I think that would be a real easy way for whatever studio. It says Universal before.
Yes.
Cool. That would be a really easy way for them to make extra money off of a successful sequel, especially if Jake Gyllenhaal is producing. I don't see why it would be a problem. But
think about the toys and the merchandising.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I think that this is also kind of timely since that this is coming out after the miserable film that Chris Pratt was just in.
The Tomorrow Wars.
Yeah, that fucking garbage ass movie.
That was way too long.
It was too long for
at least 30 minutes longer than it needed to be.
It was an hour and a half too long for what it needed to be.
Sure. They definitely padded it.
Do you want to move on to Old Guard?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Old Guard, Tales Through Time #5 by Jason Aaron, Alejandro Arbona, Kano, and Rafael Albuquerque. I'll be quirky in Albuquerque. This actually made me laugh, like out loud.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, this is a really funny story. I loved it.
It's different from the past 4 issues.
Yes, absolutely. I guess I didn't know what to expect from a Jason Aaron story with this, but this was this was a lot. Yeah. He's a very masculine writer in the first place, so of course he's gonna have one of the dude characters be like, "Yeah, we've been fucking and killing all like 100 years," and it's just like, what do you? Donny Cates thinks that he's like the best writer ever, and I'm like, okay, sure, I guess, but like, yeah, every story he writes, it's about fucking, drinking, and killing, and like that's it. He's got the most masculine storytelling style I've ever seen, and people are just fucking head over heels for it. It's really funny to me.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of odd that they chose to have Booker be the main character for both stories.
What? Well, tell me why.
He's not exactly the most forefront character in the comics or the movies. He's kind of second tier.
Yeah, but I think
like they really focus on Andy. They focus on Joe and Nikki. They focus on. Well, none of these have focused on. I can't think of either of the other ladies' names.
What, Andromache and?
Well, I said Andy. They focus a lot on Andy in a lot of these issues, but the new girl and the lady that got sent to the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, those two. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that I was actually thinking about this today because the cover obviously has the new girl on it. And I think it makes sense to not focus on her because she is new. I mean, she
doesn't have any stories.
Exactly.
Well, yes. You could see her on her own after Volume 1 and Volume 2, and have her on her own little adventure. Experiencing the world on her own as an immortal.
Greg Rucka has said that he's going to do one more story.
And there is one more volume. Yeah. But you could do something that happens in the middle of between Volume 1 and Volume 2, or between Volume 2 and Volume 3.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Andromache's love interest, didn't she get put to the bottom of the ocean and then she came up and then started seeking revenge? I mean, her story's already been told.
Yeah, well, you could do something set way back when. She was sent to the bottom of the ocean somewhere around the 13 or 1400s, maybe.
I mean, yeah, but didn't they discover each other in the middle of war and then they traveled with each other? I mean, I guess you could.
I think they were with each other for, thousands of years. You could still explore something in there. I mean, they've got enough stuff to.
Isn't Andy only 1,200 years old?
No, she's
Andy's really old.
7,000.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
she's really old.
Let's find out. Let's find out here. Hang on.
Somewhere between 7,000 and 14,000.
I don't think it's that many thousands of years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Keep going. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay. Anyway, the second story.
I liked it.
I immediately thought that this beggar was Booker at the start. before we're introduced to the two gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, I kind of did too.
So this one, a very different direction. Like I kind of expected the Baker to come back over the first couple of pages. And then I got into gear with what they were doing. And then, we get the reveal at the end where the guy with Booker is his son. That I didn't pick up on. Like, I didn't mean to, maybe I shouldn't have revealed my secret to you, but like, how are you not going to reveal your secret to your son?
I mean, it's kind of hard to, right?
Like, you have to basically like abandon your son, forever at a certain point if you're going to be an immortal. Like, at a certain point, your kid's going to be like, hey, we kind of look the same age now. Like, maybe Paul Rudd can pull it off, but I don't know about, back in the early 1800s.
The old guard
Rounding
is
up.
partially based on Paul Rudd's life.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves.
Rounding up, Andy is 7,000 years old. You were correct. It's 6,732 years old.
Tyler, look into the camera and say, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Well done.
Yeah.
I was very big of you.
This is a big step today. All right.
A big man with a big dick.
That'll be $120, and we'll schedule another therapy session for next week.
I don't need 2 therapists, nerd. Continue.
Technically 3 if you include me, but I just bully you.
Yeah.
I'm the reason you have therapy.
We're
correct.
like good cop, bad cop. Good therapist, bad therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, one's like,
but
don't kill yourself, and the other's like, kill yourself.
So
God.
it's I guess if they're trying to be able to talk about all of the changes in the world, but not come to, say modern day or any time in like the 1900s, then somewhere around after the French Revolution, where they're talking about all of like the changes that have quickly occurred in France over the past 20 years is probably a good place to pick.
I really liked it. It was a Karen story.
Basically, yeah, it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even slightly discreet. It was full on Karen customer service story.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that like, oh, we both served under it went a different direction. We both served under Napoleon. I thought it would have been like, oh, and I remember you sort of thing. Because there's all these kind of chance encounters where it's always kind of Deus Ex Machina, like, oh, you're the person that I remember, and you were really this or that. But for this, he's just offended that you would even suggest that you served under Napoleon, and I'll cut your throat. And it's more about the father and son than, I kept thinking it was going to go a different direction.
I didn't really have any expectations for like where the story was going, but I can see why you would think that. I guess I was kind of expecting a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I was expecting more of a parallel, going to be making more comparisons between the now and then and how times really haven't changed that much after the revolution. And it didn't really seem to do that for me.
They definitely could have done that and it would have worked.
Yeah. If anything, I felt like both of these stories really didn't have much purpose other than the Jason Aaron story being just funny.
It was really funny.
It was really funny. Bunch of horny ass nerds with guns.
Yeah.
Nuns with guns.
Nerds,
yeah.
Nuns, not nerds.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah. Totally, man.
Horny ass nerd, sorry.
And Andy with a slightly different axe than before. I don't know. The hilt is different.
It's the same axe, just with a different hilt and blade.
Yeah, they try and change. I think that was like a requirement. Like you have to draw your own type of axe each time.
The axe of Theseus.
Theseus. All right. I don't have anything to say about Darkblood.
I thought it was only a 5-issue series, but there's actually a 6th issue coming.
There is.
Yeah, it's 6 issues.
Yeah. We've got a Nicholas Scott story and a Greg Rucka story.
Yeah.
And Vita Ayala is going to be on it.
I said Nicholas Scott because she's a bigger name than Vita Ayala.
Yeah, Nicholas Scott is the artist, though.
Yeah. I just said the most recognizable name on there.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. We're splitting hairs here. One one of the stories is going to be called Many Happy Returns. The other story is going to be called The Bear. Bear. I don't know which character this is supposed to be in the picture for the next. Yeah, you are a bear. Here I am with the bear and the twink.
You're the twink.
No. We've already established that he's an otter.
Oh yeah. Okay. What
are they known
otter?
for?
Swimming.
They're known for rape.
Oh.
And rocks.
Isn't
collecting
that
rocks.
Koala bears as well.
I don't know about koala bears.
No, koala's definitely rape.
I thought it was dolphins.
It could have been sloths.
Have you ever read that
Ducks.
copy pasta on Reddit of koala bears?
Cats. Dogs.
It's like the angriest thing I've ever read.
No, I have not.
I will have a look at it. It's so funny.
I haven't read Dark Blood, so you guys can go ahead and take it from here.
Dark Blood,
All right.
Numero Dos by Latoya Morgan and Walt Barna.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's good, but it jumps around so much.
Yeah. It was
Similar
right what
to
you
Mother
said
of
the other
Madness.
day. It will read a lot better on trade.
So this feels like one continuous story that's been split into 6 chunks.
Yeah.
And like the last panel of the previous issue almost leads into the first panel of this. And it feels like the last panel is going to lead into the next issue. So they just jump back and forth between World War II and present day for them, which is there's 2 present days. Yeah, they go 6 months before the variants, and I think the beginning of issue 1 was like right after the variants.
No,
so whatever the variants
issue 1
started
the night of the variants.
The night of the variants, yeah. Where he gets his powers, I guess.
Read issue 1 and 2 together because I forgot what happened.
So it's Alabama 1955 and France or Germany 1944, or Austria 1945. So,
I really like this issue. It gave you more characters to get attached to, because issue 1 was very, very straightforward. Of like, this man walks out of diner and gets mugged, and his powers kick in.
Yes.
Whereas this,
I thought you liked it just because there was the Astounding Adventures comic book.
That was fun. But no, you get a sense of the characters in this. Like, there were no characters to really attach to in issue 1, whereas this is like, here's a family you can latch onto.
We are getting his motivations. He's got his family. He needs to protect them. He's a veteran that, has to, he goes and is, looks like they were saying he's a Tuskegee airman. He goes, he's a veteran, he comes back, and none of that matters. Looks like he might have a little more than other people. They've got their bookmobile that everybody is interested in. But he still has to work.
Got his wife's pregnant as well, got another baby on the way.
Yep. Yeah. We've got this letter from his wife threaded throughout the entire story from the start to finish. So Emma, his name is Kay. Avery Anderson. Is that what it was?
I'm not too sure.
They call him AA. Anyway, there's just these very few, like, 1 page at a time that it cuts back to Austria in 1945. And I feel like maybe it shouldn't have been interspersed. Maybe it should have just been one section of the comic. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I don't really know. But then you do get like all these little teasers throughout, like the little symbol on the tree that comes in relevant later when he's drawing it.
Yeah, almost like a rune again.
Yeah. Something.
Maybe it doesn't jump back and forth as much. I don't know. It just kind of feels like it jumps around a lot.
No, I think it's only like really 2 pages or so.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
I think issue 1 did it a lot more.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got this doctor, professor doing experiments out of his farm, Aldrich. His last name is Aldrich. And, it's funded by the university. So once again, the first thing I think of is the Tuskegee syphilis experiments.
I'll take your word for that. I don't know what that is.
Where the university basically infected a black population with syphilis to study the effects.
Of course they did. Good old racism.
I got it right here. Tuskegee syphilis study. Ethically abusive study conducted between 1932 and 1972. A group of nearly 400 African Americans with syphilis observed the effects of the disease when untreated. Through the end of the study, it was entirely treatable. Though by the end of the study, it was entirely treatable. So they could have treated it, and they continued monitoring them. Not informed of the nature of the experiment, more than 100 died as a result. So this is all taking place in Alabama.
Yeah, so it definitely seems like something similar is going on.
So I think this is just going to be like an allegory for that, but instead we're giving you powers or something.
I don't trust the doctor. I think he's got ulterior motives.
Yeah. Well, they make a point of turning the bottle towards you, and it just says like formula 686.
Yeah.
Like it's not. Well, it is the magic bullet, a serum that can help improve your health. So it is experimental. I mean, he makes that clear.
But no,
one shot will change your life.
I think it's set up enough story now that I'm interested to see what it does going forward. And we do have that room keep showing back up throughout.
The room in the farm.
Rune,
sorry.
Because again, on the last page, we have the Nazis walking past the tree that has it carved on it.
Yeah, but at the diner, it looks like he's more drawing circles.
Where was he drawing?
Just a couple pages back, the flashback, right before the flashback in the diner. It's the middle. Oh,
yeah,
right.
He is drawing circles there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then later on, we see his notebook and it's got the little Z sign in it.
Yes. Z. Yep. It's almost going to morph into that that S drawing. I don't know what the name of the S is.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think
I won't go too far out of the weeds.
I
don't know. Tyler, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you there, Tyler? It's me,
yeah,
Jesus.
I was gonna say it's me, Margueritte. So it's good. This is it does say this is issue 2 of 6.
What do you reckon? It does that thing where you get to issue 6 and it's like end of part 1.
I doubt it. I think they're gonna try and make this one volume.
I hope so.
There's no trigger warning at the beginning of this.
There was at the beginning of the first issue, wasn't there?
Yes. So I thought that might have been something they would keep. I've seen a lot about people having to put. Go ahead. Oh, I'll go. I've seen a lot more about having to include proper content warnings or trigger warnings and stuff. I'll go off on like a little tangent here, but there were some games released in the past month where people needed like, they included content warnings or trigger warnings, and people were like, you needed to do better on the content warnings. Different Steam released games, Boyfriend Dungeon and 12 Minutes. If you've heard of either.
No.
Yeah. Well, then don't worry about it. But that seems to be a much more common thing of if there's something that might trigger folks, you need to put the warning.
I think this issue was much more triggering than the first one. We had a lot more visible violent racism in this.
Yeah.
So it's just strange. First issue had one and this didn't.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's, if you do this just as one book, then you only need the one trigger warning.
True.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at book 1 to see like how it says it.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next book, which is
Alien.
Number 6 by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Salvador.
This is the end of the story arc.
This story arc, yes, which is really nice because I feel like this kind of clarifies where this series is going to go from now on. I kind of expected this to be an fairly long story that was going to focus on this main character and possibly trying to develop a relationship with his son and maybe even Bishop. I was very surprised at this issue, actually. I didn't expect
things were very dire at the end of the last issue.
Yeah, they were. This was a good ending to a story arc, in my opinion.
I liked it.
I think that this was told well. I think that this not only told in a way that was still engaging and caught you off guard, but it was engaging in a way that makes you care more about these characters than before. And I really liked the double reveals. I liked the reveal about Cruz's son's girlfriend and the cat at the end.
Yes, right.
It
still seems odd that she.
I like the reference to Prometheus in this.
Yes. Yeah.
It made the world feel connected slightly more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like they've been trying to put a lot of connective tissue in between these, especially with the the one shot that we got.
Yeah.
I'm still worried that this is going to be something that maybe tries too hard to make into something that could be bigger than the actual alien universe itself. I'm still curious about the one that lives in the dark. This female looking alien creature.
Yeah, that's where she says that's your future. That's, who your race will become if left to its own desires. I don't know, the mystery deepens when she reveals all of this. It's, how do these synths exist almost human-like compared to
the Bishop models?
Bishop, yeah. And 2, how do they have this information? Are they being maybe fed by David?
Yeah. Well, I think that the overly simple plot from the alien universe in general of having Weyland-Yutani be the big bad that just does boogeyman things has been overdone, and it's kind of nice to see that maybe there's a little bit more depth to what could be happening here. Because it's really tiresome to see things like within Prometheus, which, as much as I like that movie, I can recognize that Weyland-Yutani as the overarching villain of just being like, we want to.
They didn't need him in the movie, I guess.
Guy Pearce,
maybe to explain why they're here.
I was really confused why Guy Pearce. They hyped up that movie, and then they were like, go online and go look at all of this extra footage we filmed
TED Talk
of Guy Pearce doing shit like that. And then they're like, and by the way, this is all tied into the movie for him to have 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah. I guess it was kind of like, we need to justify why we would send a ship all the way out here for this.
I guess.
This synth knows so much about the past and the future, and to find out that so many different races have existed and been wiped out.
Yeah.
Organic species. It's always posing like really profound. I don't know if you want to call it profound, but really interesting questions. And sometimes the answers aren't as interesting as the questions that get posed.
Agreed. But I will say that Philip Kennedy Johnson continues to show me that he is a great storyteller. And he continues to show me that it doesn't matter what you give him, he's going to tell it right.
Yeah.
He puts enough focus on the character as well as the world building.
There was a period there where I felt like I was getting lost in my connection to Cruz, but now that we are at this point right now, I'm like, no, this is really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say about this, honestly. Because otherwise, it's
other
just
than
singing
he is
praises.
just able to he's able just to soak up all sorts of damage and then walk away.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he was literally stabbed in the arm. He shouldn't have any movement of his left arm. All the different wounds that he got from the previous issue.
Yeah, I wonder if that's more of an issue with the artist not
Yes.
necessarily drawing that. You know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the previous issue, he was shot. Like he and Bishop are basically down for the count. Like he's just passed out on the floor.
It's a
left
shame
for
that
dead.
such a good story is being told with somebody who's just not a good artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the end of this leads us into the next arc, which is the xenomorph or a xenomorph is heading to Earth in a cat.
Mhm.
Dun dun
Yeah.
dun.
I don't know. I think the synopsis or whatever the teaser synopsis is on some other planet. I don't know if this is supposed to be like the cat comes to Earth and then invades.
Maybe
Okay.
it's building towards something. Maybe
Yeah.
we won't see this plot thread through a little while and then like it all sort of come together at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. It's going to be really unfortunate if I think Bishop and this son don't make it through here to at least pass on the knowledge that they learned.
Sure.
Or else it's just
You
going to
mean
be
like
we
it
have
doesn't-
learned things, but the world. Well, Wayland Yutani has been watching, I guess.
You mean Alien 3, the beginning of that, where the ships crashed and all the characters from the previous movie are dead off camera.
Yeah.
And then they get resurrected.
Shall we speculate or move on?
We can
Speculate on
speculate.
what?
I'll pull up the thing for Alien.
Because I'm just
to
wondering,
check
this
again.
the cat reminds me of what happened in Alien 3, where the
Yeah.
facehugger got the dog. So I feel like this is
Yeah.
kind of paying a little small, homage, tribute, whatever to that.
I will say I did like the artistic touch of the things on
The
the
scars
face.
on the face. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
It
is
seems like a
not
lot.
supposed to take place on Earth for the next series.
Okay.
The next
Sorry.
arc
It does or doesn't.
does not.
Okay. Interesting.
Some
Somewhere.
small colony of spinners looking to lead a simpler life have nearly completed terraforming a moon.
Okay.
A ship crashes into their Eden from the heavens. A terror is unleashed.
Terror is unleashed.
So unless Bishop takes them to that moon, I think it's going to be
That's
a
no moon.
separate story. That's no moon. It's an infestation.
It's just a massive facehugger egg.
It's just a
Yeah.
massive cock. All right, let's talk about
the
Action Comics number
synopsis-
1034.
Wait, let me read the synopsis.
There was a delay there. Sorry, go ahead.
For issue number 8 that comes out in October, it just starts out with Blood Harvest. Blood
sold already.
orgy. Whatever. Let's do it. Let's do Action Comics.
Why
I
is
don't know
Tyler
if
not
Tyler's
speaking?
still with us.
Action Comics 1034 by Philip Kennedy D. Johnson and Daniel St. Pierre.
33.
No. Read the
It was Christian
fucking...
Dukes.
Did you just guess without reading my little script?
No, I
Yeah.
have it pulled up. I just didn't tag over to it fast enough. This is
So-
actually my pick of the week.
Yeah,
Spoiler
you
alert.
guys were talking about this enough that I did go back and pick up. I kind of dropped it after 1032. You guys hyped it up enough. I went out and got 1033 and 1034, so I read those both together.
Was it a
Yeah, right,
satisfying
did.
read? Are you happy you picked it back up?
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
hate you.
Don't you fucking.
Sorry,
don't
I'm sorry. I think
This-
my pick of the week
this
is probably going to
cured-
be Superman, Son of Kal-El, and that
Okay.
kind of outshines this issue.
Yeah, don't you dare diss this issue because this cured Tyler's
I'm sorry.
ADHD
I
or
just
something.
I read Superman, Son of Kal-El #2 before I read these two issues, and I liked Superman, Son of Kal-El more.
That's fine. That's your opinion. It's wrong, but that's fine.
That's fine. It's your opinion. I can see why you would think that.
I could see why you
Stupid
think
shit.
that. To me, this is the first time that I am reading Superman really make interventions like this, and this is really impactful to see. What's more is
yeah, I think Son of Kal-El and this kind of go hand in hand with each other. Like,
Sure.
It looked like they were written together because they deal with a lot of the same content.
I think the difference is that Kennedy Johnson is building more, whereas more of like a finite, simplified, easily extractable idea. Whereas, you know, there's a conflict between America and Atlantis. You've got the conflict of World coming through, having
it is definitely a difference between Clarke and John, where Clarke is, I need to, you know, break up this fight, versus John, we'll see, is basically like, I need to use my powers to save people.
Absolutely. It's not.
That's weird. In one panel, Kara's S is backwards on her chest.
Oh, weird.
Oopsie. Literally unreadable.
So you speculated. Actually, we'll talk about that when we get to Superman, Son of Kal-El too. With this issue in specific, the thing that I wish I could pinpoint it in specific. I guess it's a multitude of things. You know, it's the fact that you've got what's going on with Lois, where she's not some weak individual who's just like a side character. She's getting pushed, not getting pushed to the side. She does try to stand up for what's right. She does have that as much impact as Superman to some degree. You've got the tension between worlds. You've got the parallel of that with the tension between Warworld and here.
So is this supposed to be this device that the yellow dude is holding? That's not supposed to be like a mother box, is it?
Let me see what
it's something that's like transforming him. Like you can see his skin tearing and he's glowing blue underneath.
It's clearly the Power Stone.
Oh, another Power Stone?
That was a Guardians of the Galaxy joke.
No, it's just the Power Stone.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry. I didn't know that you were talking about the gem.
Yeah, I don't really know what that is. Was that something in a previous issue?
He just kind of in issue 1033 at the end, Mongol is like activate the box.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's making a voo 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 sound.
Voo 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 voo.
Whereas
it's kind of humming.
Yeah, the mother boxes just go like ping, 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 ping.
This is more of like an energy box that allows him to access
awaken the box. Yeah.
I like how in this series Clarke has been written as a more mature hero without it being like the dark.
Oh yeah,
Injustice
he's
version.
You know, like a superhero version of Batman, where he's like, I'm coming to do this, and I won't be questioned.
Well, this is the first time we've really seen him impose any kind of authority.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel out of character. It's not him being like, oh, I'm like dark and
spooky.
Yeah, I'm not like abusing my powers and becoming ruler of the world. It's like, no, I'm doing the right thing, even if it means I have to cross the line.
And I mean, he's even acknowledging that here, and Kara has said that as well, where it's an acknowledgement of this is not really something that he wants to do. But I mean, if it prevents death, if it preserves life, why not take that step? You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, when they parallel that in the Tom Taylor story, I mean, it's kind of more of an acknowledgement that a big reason why that is because maybe he feels like it's not his place because he wasn't born here and because of everything that's happened with him.
Yeah, and we'll see that in Superman, Son of Kal-El as well.
One more thing I just want to mention is the artwork here is a different artist to previous issues, but I think it's really good at staying in the same style. Like the fact
I wouldn't have even
the fact that Tyler even said the wrong name just proves how it's not like sometimes you get a fill-in artist and it'll go from someone like really clean with clean lines to JR art.
Yeah.
Which is very drastic. Even if you like his artwork, it's a very drastic style change. Like that last arc of Tom King's Batman, where you have like Tony Daniel, Mikel Hannon, JR.
Yeah.
Like the whiplash there is insane.
Yeah, you can like Batman Beyond, you could kind of tell, but they definitely have to stay to a certain art style.
Yeah.
I
After
think that
reading
Daniel
this issue,
Saint-Pierre
I
has
really
announced,
want.
by the way,
Oh,
that
what?
there's some big stuff coming.
Yeah, he's signed a DC exclusive contract and he's teased a huge project on the way from him.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really want to see Philip Kennedy Johnson write an Aquaman book after this.
Okay.
Because his Atlantis stuff just seems really good. And I want to see that
Agreed.
underwater horror from him.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Give it to me, baby.
Yep. Are you guys familiar with Michael Crichton's The Sphere?
No.
I'm familiar with Michael Crichton.
Yeah. So this was a book, and then it was a movie. But in the book, a giant alien ship is found thousands of feet below the surface of the water. So it's found on the ocean floor. And they set up a habitat nearby. It's like Sea Lab. And they're basically able to go into the alien. They, assemble the team of scientists like you would in a Michael Crichton book. And they go into this ship that is almost barren. And they're able to, they find this sphere in it. And eventually, spoilers for a book that's 30 some years old. It turns out that the sphere is almost like a landmine of sorts that you might pick up in space. Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's a kind of a landmine for thoughts. Some of the people go inside the sphere and they can manipulate reality around themselves. And the idea was that beings would find this, a ship would find this and basically tear themselves apart. And so you've got this, what I don't know what to call the ship of slaves that basically land on Earth, and they're bringing along the stone, which seems to be doing a similar thing where they're tearing each other apart just to possess this power source. So maybe the stone, the fragment, was sent to tear them apart. Maybe it wasn't like the slaves escaped with this stone and came to Earth. We already know that I can't remember her name, is kind of a Trojan horse to come and kill everyone. But maybe the fragment is also there to divide the different groups and make them tear each other apart for this great power source.
Maybe, but it kind of seems like their primary focus is her being the Trojan horse rather than this power source than anything else. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. I mean, Superman kind of reacted to the fragment in 1032, I think it was.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very apparent that they have no idea how strong this new Kryptonian is. They have no idea what she's capable of. And this, I'm honestly going to have to go back and read the Power Stone stuff.
Yeah.
Just because I forgot.
All right.
Shall we move along? Because my internet's starting to go.
Yeah. Turn your video off, and that'll probably increase your ability to transmit audio. So let's go on. Let's get into Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 2.
By
Tom Taylor and
John Sims.
Since you're actually, I think you're a bigger fan of Tom Taylor than I am, so why don't you go ahead and lead into this?
Right. So the gist of this issue is John Kent has a new secret identity for starting high school.
Yeah.
And
is that it? Is that all you're going to say? You're not going to lead into anything else? The conflict on the moon or talking about things and
I can do
the thing and the stuff.
Oh, I figured we'd get to that naturally. So on his first day of school, he has to stop a school shooter and basically loses his secret identity. Yeah. Cover blown first day of school.
Yeah.
First
The
day of
discussion that we were
college.
kind of talking about was
He's not 18 yet, and he's going to college.
well, not 18 in this planet's years rotations, but because he's aged up because of Bendis.
All right.
So the thing that we were kind of talking about earlier is Superman goes up to the moon. John's up there with him. They have a conversation about what had gone down. Tells John, don't ever apologize for doing the right thing, even though it's hard sometimes, even if you have to sacrifice certain things to do it, which is obviously foreshadowing towards the future of Superman right now. But it's also
he basically tells John that you have more of a right to have a say in what should happen on Earth
is going to be happening. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Superman, he feels like he doesn't have the right because he's not from this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can be an example, but he can't be the driving force.
Exactly.
There's a lot of I don't know what to call it, iconography in this issue. Just, Clarke and John sitting on the moon, looking at the Earth in front of them, us seeing them from behind. John basically picking up his Cord Jeep and flying it off. Almost looks like one of the issue 1 covers, which they paralleled in Son of Kal-El issue number 1.
Yeah, this is more like the Action Comics number 1 cover of him catching the car.
Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. Later on, we have him rescue migrants on a boat.
That felt do the whole extremely timely considering what's been going on with refugees in the last 2 weeks.
God, seriously.
Well, in the last decade or however, forever.
But just especially within like the last few weeks of Afghanistan and the influx to Europe, especially with Afghan refugees.
Yeah. But I mean, that's been going on for years from all sorts of places.
But I think that's the problem is that it has been going on for so many years that like it's unfortunately timely, right?
So, I mean, this could easily be anywhere in the, say, Mediterranean Sea, or I don't know if this is, off the coast of the US. I don't know where this Gomorrah is. I sure hope they see if we go to Sodom. Tyler would love that.
It is Western Pacific.
Oh, okay.
So Sean speculates that this character Bendix is Bendis.
No, Bendix is from
Wildstorm.
But
it's just very funny that
it's like we couldn't get Lex Luthor, so let's do.
But it just does also feel like a dig at Bendis as well.
I immediately thought of Sean and Bendis. Like, oh, Sean's gonna latch onto this.
Like, I know it's a pre-existing character, but it's just funny that like the character that did Rowan John Kent's character, there's now a character with like the exact same name who's trying to destroy Superman's life. And it's just,
he will try to destroy him because he interfered. But I want to just take that step back to Jonathan bringing in this boat overhead of people in the whole look up in the sky. It's a boat. Love that.
That was pretty funny.
I also really like the scene where they're trying to handcuff the migrants and he blasts the handcuffs. It's like,
so this is the part where he's stepping in, he's doing more than what his dad would have done.
Yeah. I'd like to think
it his place to interfere.
I'd like to think Clarke wouldn't just let them handcuff them and do nothing.
Well, I think the problem is that this is very much a like neoliberal mindset these days. I think Tom Taylor is just like, dude, grow a pair of fucking balls with everything.
Yeah. Well, Superman isn't so much a government man anymore.
No, he used to be characterized as that. These days, he's become less of that idea. But I think that people still hold on to how we've, had our heroes drawn up from the 80s. I mean, we still hold on to the idea of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah. And then we make a friend.
I do really like John's new costume as well. It's his future state costume.
Yeah.
I didn't like the weird futuristic one from Bendis' run.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. And these two end up being, fans of each other.
Yep.
Because if you go back to like the first page, Jonathan has the truth sticker on his wardrobe.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, I guess I expected a little bit more from this issue. issue from Tom Taylor, but I'm still really enjoying it. I think that he digs into the humanity of these characters really well. And I know he's setting up. I guess I just was hoping for a little bit more oomph to some degrees. The parts that did hit me hard. I will say that.
Yeah. So this new character, Jay Nakamura, is according to Tom Taylor, is supposed to be kind of the Lois Lane archetype, but more modern.
Are they going to make John Kent gay?
Maybe.
Of course they are.
Well, I don't think so, because they've already established that he's had a romantic love interest with Saturn Girl.
Okay.
So, I mean, at the most, maybe bi, but I mean, it would strike me as strange if they did that.
Especially following straight on from Tim Drake.
Yeah. That's kind of why I brought that up. But yeah, he's supposed to be like the modern day Lois, doing the media thing. I
mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with just having male friends.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. Like, is Sean gonna jump at him like, oh, he's gonna be gay, versus like, oh, he's making friends?
What was the way you said it's
just funny that you were so right. He jumped right on it.
You took the bait.
But it was just the way you said, like, the Lois Lane to his version.
He is this. Yeah. He is supposed to be kind of Lois Lane. That is Tom Taylor's from Tom Taylor. One more thing at the beginning of this first page, he's got a Superman poster. He's got a Super Sons sticker on his door. He's so full of himself.
He misses the Super Sons era that Bendis took away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
What I'm trying to see what the other posters are, if there anything. I can't tell what the one next to the Superman one is.
Yeah, I get like OEW or something. Oh, Jew.
Bing bang, walla walla bing bang.
Yeah, I really can't tell.
No.
I can almost tell what it is, but it's just kind of, I can't tell if it's like an O or a J, an E or an L. There's a W.
Yeah.
Like it almost looks like it spells Jew, which would be kind of weird.
Josh, I'm really worried about you today. I feel like you're just making a lot of interesting comments here. That is like, you're just like, how do I get canceled today?
No, it does look like Jew. I see Jew in there.
Sean.
Well, you have an Adolf comic behind you, so I'm not surprised, you fucking Nazi.
Yeah, let's get this show canceled. That'll be one less thing I have to do.
I'm trying.
Yeah, right, seriously. Fuck you.
This is all Tyler has left.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the last thing.
He's been banned from every other platform.
I really have.
Mm-hmm.
I really
all right,
have.
Speed round, lightning round.
All right, let's talk about picks of the week. Go.
No, we got to do shout outs.
No, shut up. Picks of the week. Go.
Superman, son of
No, surely
Kal-El.
we'd do shout outs first.
No, shut up.
Pick of the week is a shout out then.
Shh. Hear me. I'm going to kiss you. Shut up. Go.
Hey, your audio worked for that.
There you go.
Shh, baby, it's okay.
My pick is Action Comics 1034.
My pick of the week is Robin, but I haven't been allowed to talk about it yet because you push shout outs back until after pick of the week for some reason.
That's right. Just
so
because
why
oh my God.
why
All
do I
our
like
picks
it?
of the
You don't
week,
know.
all our picks of the week are DC related.
Shh.
How crazy is that?
It's fantastic. Go.
Go what?
Do your shout outs.
Go home? Do your
Yes.
shout outs. Fine.
Sean.
I read Superman 78, #1 this week.
How was that?
It was very good. It was very, very good.
Okay.
It felt straight out of that era. It felt, yeah.
Do you remember it well?
I loved the 70s. It was my happiest time to be alive.
Yeah.
No, like it did feel. I said that the Batman 89 one didn't really feel like the movie. It felt more like the animated series.
Yeah.
However, with this one, it did feel straight out of that movie. The voices for the characters were perfect. The artwork was perfect, like perfectly captured the actors' faces. And yeah, it's really, really good.
Really good. Okay.
Yeah, I do recommend it. It's a 6-issue mini. It's Christopher Reeve Superman fighting Brainiac.
Okay.
And it's got that sort of visual humor, like physical humor that the originals had, with like him being a bumbling like buffoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's writing?
Robert Bendis.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Is it anything
Tyler.
groundbreaking? Not really, but it's just it is just a perfect successor to that movie.
Okay, right on. I read Amazing Spider-Man 873 on the I can't remember what it's called. I don't remember what the number thing is called, but it's issue 72 of the current run. And Spider-Man Life Story Annual. Both are really good, but of the two that I like the most, Life Story Annual was the one that stood out to me a little bit more. Spider-Man right now for the Amazing Spider-Man kind of feels like it's just wrapping up and leading towards the end of Spencer's run. But the annual here kind of dealt a little bit more with what we didn't see, which was J.J. Jameson.
Curious about that.
It was a lot. It was interesting. It's kind of weird because I actually preferred it over most of the issues of Life Story in general. Yeah.
I need to go read Life Story.
Spider-Man. How does Spider-Man Life Story measure up to what you've read from Fantastic Four Life Story?
Oh, it's night and day difference. Mark Russell's is dramatically better in my opinion. Not just because of the allegory, but just because I feel like there's more. If you had asked me that with issue 2 of Fantastic Four, I would have said that Life Story was better. But now with this 3rd issue, oh my god, man. Yeah. What about you? What'd you read?
Well, I've got Echolands, which I'm kind of surprised that you guys.
I was gonna read it, but I didn't. I sort of ran out of time for some stuff, and I did sit down to read it. I was like, "Oh, this is a weird long book." It's
not that long, and it's an odd format.
It just looked daunting.
It's not. It's fairly quick, but it almost feels like something out of the 80s, like heavy metal, sort of.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, there's this real, it allows for these real long stretches of action. It's almost like watching something in widescreen. Like Quentin Tarantino would probably love this.
That's actually the reason why I didn't pick this up, is because the last time I picked up a book like this in this format, I just really could not get into the reading style of it. And also, I don't really know how to like put it on a shelf, and I don't know where to put it in my box.
Well, it's the same shape as, a regular issue. It's just turned sideways.
Yeah.
So the binding is just different. It does feel thinner. It doesn't feel as wide as like a regular comic, but it is. It's just weird.
Who read it? Wrote it. Sorry.
This was J.H. Williams III and W. Hayden Blackman. Co-creators, co-writers. J.H. Williams does the art and the design. Dave Stewart does the colors. So it's almost like Red Riding Hood talking about wolves at the door. I mean, it's very clear that she's supposed to be Red Riding Hood, and saying the word red is somehow magical. They are very indulgent in like the 3rd or 4th page, where it's this world that is ever changing and things are being added, kind of like the end of time in Loki, where different things just kind of appear. So they've got this long run right here where it's a bunch of different characters from, different things that are just kind of being shouted out here.
I mean, it's weird, but it's beautiful art.
Yeah, and that's the only place they do that. The rest is, I think, original characters. I don't know. So it's really interesting art. Like if almost like David Mack style art at some points. It would be cool to see David Mack do like a whole comic instead of just covers.
You mean like the series cover?
Cool story.
Thanks.
It's strange that you're basically you meet the big bad almost via like some weird magical interview, whatever bauble they have. But in the back, there's a ton of back matter where a reporter from the local paper basically does an interview with the big bad. It's so strange. Yeah, I probably took up too much time with that. It was a week. I'm not gonna really go into this, but it was a week of like oddly shaped comics because the Superman and Lobo is basically
it's a
I can't remember
prestige oversized.
Yeah,
Prestige Plus, square. I think is the name.
Yeah,
Prestige Worldwide is the correct name.
Prestige Worldwide, boats and hose. Yeah, this looks good, but it's meh.
First story. Yeah, it's Mirka and Dolfo. Like artwork, of course, is going to be good, but
no, it's Tim Seeley as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think I stopped about 2/3 of the way, and I was like, "This is."
The concept just didn't stick out to me.
Yeah.
Tim Seeley's better on like the grounded stuff.
Unfortunate.
And I don't get what this push for Lobo is recently. He's fun in small doses.
Well,
yeah, but he's got 3 stories where he's the main character at the minute.
There are. It seems like a cycle every 10 years they try to do this. Do you remember 10 years ago they tried to push the new designed Lobo, the sexy Lobo?
That was with New 52.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that was everyone was sexed up there.
Well, no, but this character in specific was like specifically like redesigned, sexed up. Yeah. And then 10 years before that, like he was all over Justice League, the animated series, and I think that he was making appearances in a lot of really random comics too.
I mean, he was in all the Bruce Timm shows.
Yeah, he was. Oh, you know what? Didn't he make an appearance in 52?
Maybe.
We've got 2 Lobo versus the Authority specials, little one shots.
Yeah.
So he just appears everywhere.
Okay.
I also read Robin #5 by Josh Williamson. This was so good. It is Robin on the run from Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, and Stephanie Brown. And it's just funny the way he takes them down. But then like Dick ultimately lets him go, and he's like, the others like behind them as they've got like head, and he's like, "Oh no, Robin, stop!" And he's like winking at him while he's doing it. He's like, "No, don't do that." And it's just really fun seeing their like bromance. And Dick even says like, "You are the Robin to my Batman. Like, I trust you," kind of thing.
Okay.
He's like, "I trust you to know what you're doing."
Is he not doing the tournament anymore?
He is. He escaped from that for like an issue to do something.
So it's kind of like voluntary tournament.
Well, he was like killed and thrown off a cliff and rescued by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
He's only been missing from the tournament for 1 issue, and he's back at it by the end of this issue.
Okay.
But yeah, it was emotional.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it's so good. Josh Williamson's good. He's going to do a good job on Batman. I trust him.
Yeah. He's going to do a good job writing all of DC.
Yeah, just give him everything. Clone him.
Yep.
Well, at this point, I mean, like, how many people are hopping off, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, more for me, haha."
So another book I can write.
Mine.
Another one.
This will be a good addition to my collection.
But if he's going to be like supposed to be like Jeff Johns of this generation, I don't mind. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give him everything. Let him write everything. Yeah.
And he's taking it.
All right, let's talk about our picks of the week.
We did that already.
No, we didn't.
You did it in the wrong order. Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. What's Josh's pick of the week?
His pick of the week was Superman, and yours was Action Comics, and mine was Robin.
Yeah. Remember, we all picked DC.
I actually didn't hear you say your pick of the week. That's why I said this.
Yeah, because you said do picks of the week. We were like, surely it make more sense to do shout outs first, because my pick of the week was a shout out, and you're like, no, picks of the week.
Oh my God, you're still talking.
And we all went,
oh my God. I don't know, man. You're like the world's worst troll. So let's go on to what we're doing next week. What are we reading?
We've got Dark Ages #1 coming out.
That's
Pirate.
something I'm very excited for. Tom Taylor with another alternate universe story. It's Tom Taylor,
It's
Josh. Don't be a
also
dick.
Ivan Coelho, so it'll be interesting to see him do this art style. We've got Pirate Queen #1, which is going to be a Bad Idea book by Peter Milligan. Monster Kill Squad #1, also from Bad Idea with Crystal
Oh my God,
Skage.
he's acknowledging Bad Idea comics.
The Many Deaths of Leila Starr #5, the final issue of this story.
You can keep going though. We can keep going with Leila Starr.
Firepower #15.
It's the many deaths. Dying 5 times isn't a lot. Has
I
Ramvi
think
never
she
watched
died
Supernatural?
like 2 times in the first issue though.
Ramvi should watch Supernatural and then he'll find out what many deaths means. Those characters die every like 5 episodes.
Geiger #6, Undiscovered Country #15, the Aquaman 80th anniversary. Batman Fear State Alpha, Infinite Frontier #5, the penultimate issue, and Wonder Girl #3, which I'm assuming is going to be the issue that Joelle Jones hops off of the art.
Yeah,
she
it feels
only
like it's
did, like,
been
half
a
the art
long
last
time
time.
since #2 came out.
It comes
Yes,
out like
it
every
has.
6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
It's practically a bi-monthly book at this point because she can't
At this point, yeah.
handle both.
Which is weird because it seems like that's something that she wants to do so much of.
She
Yeah.
tries and then she fails. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'd rather she did the art than write.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a
Are you guys
fine-
not getting We Only Find Them When They're Dead?
I am gonna read it like when the whole arc's finished. I'm gonna read issues 6 to 10 in one go because I read
It was only 10 issues.
Sorry,
I thought it was only a 10 issue limited.
15.
No, it's going to be 3
Okay.
arcs. Yeah,
Yeah.
15.
Because I read the first arc monthly when it came out, and I found it really hard to like.
It's very Hickman-esque.
Whereas when you read it in one sitting, which I did after the first arc was finished, it read a lot better. So I'm going to then read the second arc in one sitting. Although if you
I'm still
want me
going to
to,
read the issue this week.
I can read it
So.
if you want me to.
No, I don't want to pressure you.
So much pressure.
Under pressure.
Whatevs.
All right. And this has been the Cult of Comics podcast. That's our show. Today is Monday, August 30th, 2021. And this has been our comic book club, our picks of the week, our shout outs. It's been a little bit chaotic, especially with my internet going out again. And you can always, if you're continuing to enjoy the show, you can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on all of the podcast locations. You can find us on Patreon for cultofcomics.com/Patreon. Or I'm sorry, patreon.com/cultofcomics. I'm fucking tired. If you like us, you can give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow, but most importantly, you can give us $1 by going to patreon.com. You can also go to our anchor.fm website and also make your monthly contributions there as well. Thank you for setting that up for us, anchor.fm. And you can find me on TikTok at Tyler Brown is here. Neither of these guys want to give their private information anymore, mostly because of the amount of sexual harassment that they've been receiving. I don't know if you've noticed, but
It's countless.
Sean has been
that's a bit more information than I was willing to reveal.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sean keeps getting comments about how he looks very submissive and breedable, and then Josh keeps getting comments about how he looks very dominant and infertile. It's been very strange.
The fans are shipping us.
That's fair. I would say that's is it a ship or is it a stan? Is it a fan? You want to be a man? I don't know. M&M can. And I think I'll wrap it up there and just say thank you for checking us all out. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, get your fucking vaccinations, don't believe in QAnon, and have basic common sense. All hail, stay healthy, and good night.